We all have deal breakers, and deal breakers happen, and it's something that you have in your value, and you're like, if anybody ever does this that I'm dating, it will be over. Or if I'm married to someone and they do this, they know how it feels to me, they know what it means, and it's over. But when you're dating, a lot of times you don't see these deal breakers. You're not even really sure of your deal breakers because, as far as you know, you kind of have an idea of what's your pet peeve, what areas you don't like. And that leaves you wide open to end up dating someone who is like an abusive person. And if you don't recognize those signs beforehand, you may end up with that person, married to them, and have a kid. So I've got a list of behaviors that you should be looking for, and they're categorized by according to signs, like flag colors. Like red flags mean no way, even if you don't have a gut response, do not stay with this person. It's any kind of an abuser, an addict, anything like that. And then it's the orange flag. The orange flags are the things that possibly you may be able to fix or resolve as long as the person who has the condition is willing to in order to salvage the relationship, to get over or deal with whatever issue they have. And then there's the yellow ones. All three of these flags are basically warnings to you. These are not good catches, but they can be helped with therapy, especially the yellow flags. The yellow flags mean that you are aware enough that when you see it or when you notice it, you don't try to kid yourself or deny it. You say, this is a problem in this person's behavior, and they're either going to have to deal with it in a mature way, or I am not going to get involved. Now, the whole idea of identifying these types is to protect you. And what that means is you cannot deny them. Basically, if you see these, then it's my opinion that you should get out of the relationship, because there's so many people that don't fit into these categories, that why would you stay with someone in these categories? So let's just go through the categories. These are the red flag categories. And if you're dating anyone that has any of these, or you're newly married, you have got to get out of that relationship. The first, anyone that is violent, bullying, anger issues, and intimidation. If you see anybody that uses those behaviors on anyone, then that is a sign to you, I have to get out of this. This person is troubled and they're not for me. Even if it doesn't set off your gut response, which it might not if you grew up in this kind of a environment. Secondly, any alcohol or drug abuse. Now, it is true, Al-Anon and drug rehab have worked significant miracles on people's lives, but those people are always addicts. They have to live the rest of their life going and attending those meetings they went to. You don't get over an addiction. An addiction is there to stay. You recover. And when you recover, it means you're continuing to educate yourself and attend meetings for life. If you're married to a recovered alcoholic or you're dating one, then the first question you should ask is, are you attending meetings? Do you talk to your sponsor? Because if they don't, then you have no business being with them. Next, I have cheating in relationships. Now, some people will say, I wouldn't put that in a red flag because a lot of people have cheated and a lot of people aren't honest with it. That's for you to decide. But I will tell you, honesty is the truest form of intimacy. And if you're dating a cheater or someone who cheated in the past, then you know one thing about them, that they're not 100% honest. Now, it is true most people lie anyway, sometime. But when you're lying about whether or not you're faithful, that's a whole nother level to me. You can put it in the next level if you want, and that means orange, and that means that they are getting help with it. They have gone to a therapist. They're open about it, and they've redesigned their life to have different boundaries so that they will cheat proof any relationship they're with. yeah, then you're talking about something else, but it's still an orange flag. And if I didn't need to be with someone, and I wouldn't if they cheated, if they were able to have told me in their past relationship they cheated, then why be with them? That's what I'm saying. And to me, honesty is the single most important thing, because if they're not honest, I can't trust them. And if I can't trust them, then there is no relationship. So that's why I put it in the red category. But you may have it in the orange, or even the yellow, which isn't quite as severe. Okay, the orange flags, those are the areas that, as I said, that you can basically date someone in that orange flag area, but it's important that you understand that these people have had to take responsibility for whatever they have, and they've had to have counseling. They have to be open to counseling with you. And the first is any kind of trust issues. If they are ridiculously jealous, then I personally would not recommend it unless they're currently getting help with a therapist. Because when someone is jealous of you, or they don't trust you or others, it really damages your relationship, and it makes it impossible to trust them. Because if they don't trust you, they're always double checking you. It starts feeling like you're under surveillance, and you wonder what else they're up to. If they have a mental health issue and they're ignoring it, that would be an orange flag to me. And the reason is because it is just like a physical. If they had a physical health issue and they ignored it, I would feel the same way. It's an orange flag. This person is not a compliant patient. They're not taking responsibility. They're trying to deny it, to make it go away with denial. And I would choose, if I had a choice, not to be with that kind of person. I want to be with someone who's responsible and who sees clearly, who is aware enough that they can see they have a condition that they have to take care of. And that's why I think it's an orange flag area if you know the person you're dating is like this. Any kind of idea that this person isn't emotionally mature, it would really set me back, and I probably wouldn't date them. And the reason is, if they're not emotionally mature, then you're going to turn into their mother or father throughout the whole relationship. They're always going to need you to take care of them. And that, for me, that's a deal breaker. I just wouldn't want to put up with that, because I don't want to be their mother and I don't want to be their father. I want to be their lover and their companion and their best friend. And that's hard to do if the person doesn't take emotional responsibility for where they're at life, what choices brought them there, and what choices can help them get out. If they're not responsible with that, if they're still blaming their parents for their misery, then I wouldn't have time for that kind of person to date. And then the things that maybe aren't so bad at deal breaking, that I actually could work with, that I may work with, but it still is significant because it's not healthy. These are what are oftentimes categorized as yellow flags. This is if the person can't communicate well. They have trouble. They just don't talk, and they expect you to read their mind, or they're afraid to tell you the truth. Many times these people have a hard time opening up. This is a communication problem. And if they're willing to work on it with you, that's one thing. But if they hide behind it and they don't admit it, and you're afraid to bring it up, that's a significant problem if it's going to be a long-term relationship. If they can't manage their money, this is scary. It's not so scary if you're just going on a date with them. But if you're in a relationship with this kind of person and they're always asking you for money, or they don't have any money and they spend money ridiculously and recklessly, that shows a lack of respect for hard work and the ability to provide. And that goes much deeper than that they just can't manage their money. They need help with that. They need to be put on a budget. They have to want to be put on a budget. If they're going to rebel against a family budget, then I would choose not to be with that kind of person. That's a deal breaker. Want somebody responsible, not that I have to manage them and their money. Or if they have any kind of lifestyle issues, And this includes people that are doing things that aren't really dangerous, like if they have fetishes or they like to cross dress or they have other things that just, it's a different lifestyle, or their idea of a fun time is going and getting totally hammered and drunk into oblivion. These are things that don't coincide with my lifestyle. Or let's say that I want to live in the city and they want to live way out in the country. They don't like people next to them. These are lifestyle issues that can really affect you. And it's important that you know about them and that you decide, okay, how will this impact my life? And of course, you can't judge how you're going to be in the future. Some of these things are innocent. But if you're dating and you're aware of them, it's important you get educated. Like in the case of fetishes. Fetishes aren't dangerous until people start breaking the law or doing something outrageous in order to achieve their decrease in anxiety. It might be better if that person's in therapy and they're thinking, the therapist is saying, let's look for other healthier options where you can get that same relief of anxiety, but you're not having to have somebody's shoe or somebody's helmet in your hand, whatever the case may be. I have a video about fetishes and they're quite interesting and they're usually harmless, although they're not always harmless. So not to belabor that point, but it's important that you know the person and that in your mind you categorize what level is this brokenness, because we're all imperfect, every one of us, and we connect and we have to evaluate in our mind whose baggage is lighter and whose baggage kind of aligns with my baggage, so we can work this relationship out together and go forward. And I think having an idea of who's really abusive or who's possibly harmful for you can help you make a wiser decision of who your life partner will be.